Alright everyone, one more match for this segment, and with this one we're going to have For this one we're going to have me taking on Cece using Jewel Knight Royal Paladins, including the new stride, and this is making use of the new Jewel Knight Legion unit, which is another one of those overlooked units that came in the update. I'm doing this at double speed for the sake of getting a move on, because I'm by myself for this commentary. I am using the new Nova Grapplers, the Extreme Battlers, or the Mecha Battlers. If you look at the Japanese translation, that's actually what it says. Cece at grade 2 uses Swordy, which lets her counterblast one to call a unit. She could have used Cecelia to do the same, but Cecelia would have had to stay on the field long enough for that to work. Whereas Swordy is more guaranteed and sooner. I get 2 damage as a result of everything. And now I ride a Sanzada and call another one. Sanzada's ability is a Generation Break 1. Gains 5k when it restands by a card effect. As far as I can tell, a card effect means not by stand trigger, so I've been using it like that all this time. If I'm incorrect, someone can let me know. After this, Cece rides Salome, and because of the limit remover, it has its limit break. It has 2 critical, and as a result, out of my entire hand, I could have only 2 passed, and she got 2 triggers anyway, so I didn't guard it at all. I'm at 4 damage now as a result, and I'm thinking about what I can do here. Luckily, I got a trigger in the drive check, but I still have to drop almost all my hand. I ride Victor because it's between Victor and Musashi, and between the two, Victor is better for my situation. Because with Victor, he gives the stride an extra skill, whereas with the other unit, it does not. So I had start by attacking the rear, which gets guarded, because she wants as many of those on the field as possible. She doesn't guard the Vanguard, which allows me to get a critical trigger, a draw trigger, and another draw trigger. After that, I stand this unit and give it 5k, which is actually a misplay on my part, because it was supposed to gain 5k from the stride skill, and then an additional 5k from its own skill, so it was actually supposed to be more. She didn't guard though, so it doesn't really matter. After that, she strides Harmonic Messiah, which is actually really good for the sake of she's using 10k, so the extra 1k between that and a stride unit with a skill actually does mean something. Of course, the 8k booster behind it makes it so it doesn't mean much, but still. I 2-pass, and she gets a draw trigger. Draws the actual Legion. Yvain. Yvain is what I'm going to call that. I can't guard the second attack, so I just do that. So I just take it. And from here, I think about what I'm going to do. I decide I should stride, but I unfortunately forget that that stride comes before the main phase, so instinctively I play a unit first as if I'm gonna Legion. Instead of rolling it back, I just keep going, owning up to my mistake. And she no-passes the Vanguard for it. If I hadn't done that, she would have needed more just to make it guard. But it wouldn't have changed my hand situation. Now she rides and does her Legion. This unit's ability, it gains 2,000 when it attacks a Vanguard, whether it's in Legion or not. It also gains 5,000 power and a critical if there are 6 Jewel Knights on the field. Counting itself and its mate, of course. Which means a total of 7 Jewel Knights are on the field right now. She could afford to have 1 non-Jewel Knight on the field and still get the skill. So right now I'm stating that the power is actually 35. Area actually doesn't add the 2000 on its own. I can't guard, but I do get a 6th heal trigger. So the battle continues. She attacks Zanzada, which I don't guard because I can't afford to guard that and the Vanguard. So I just guard for the Vanguard. I could have guarded for both, but I would rather keep everything in my hand. And at this point, I realize the best thing I can do is ride Raybad, which I call Mega Man X, because if you look at Mega Man X, it looks exactly the fucking same. I discard Musashi, and now I'm going to Stride. The reason why I rolled this one is because it actually gives the Vanguard an extra 5,000 power upon Stride. And since this unit is a unit that restands, it gains a lot of leeway from gaining that extra power. Not only that, but Rumble, I should have mentioned before, when the unit in front of it stands as well. Most people put it into a rear guard on the left or right, but I put it behind Vanguard specifically because I was going to use Big Plasma for my finisher. So now with Hank's skill, I counterblast 1. I stand Kindle, so I can get a draw and unflip. It's basically so I can get an extra draw and make up for the fact that Stride loses its triple check. So I twin drive, get no triggers, but now I can discard 2 to restand and attack again. Her quintet wall gave her a perfect guard, which she used, and she got a perfect guard that came out there as well. Since the perfect guard is the Jewel Knight variant, it does work when it comes from a quintet wall, unlike the newer versions that don't. And now she uses Saints Blow Dragon, which I can't guard against. I couldn't have guarded either way, but this is like making it certain that the match ends here from the 3rd drive check. Between the 2 options is actually better, because if I, for some miracle, double 6th heal, then the 3rd drive check could mean a lot. So I look at my situation. That's not even enough for a 1 pass, because 21, 31, 41, 46. If she hadn't done Stride, I could have actually guarded and tried to get a 6th heal from one of the rear attacks. And then she double heal triggers. And then that's the end of the game. Just a good note of what combining the Strides with other variant decks can actually do. And it's also a good showcase of what, you know, this person, who I still consider one of the best Royal Paladin users in DS, is actually able to do with the new units now, when combined with stuff that she already likes. But that's the end of this battle. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you learned from this.